व्यूअर चालू करो.
Hey guys, what's up? बहुत ही awkward time है यार. वैसे सैटरडे को पता नहीं कितने लोगों का काम होता है, कितनों की जॉब होती है. मैं अपने ऑफिस में हूँ. बाय द वे, look at this, my office where Shub is also sitting.
दोनों एक साथ कर रहे हैं इस बार.
दोनों एक साथ में हमने कल बात करी थी कि मिलते हैं, और आज हम मिल भी गए एक ही घर में.
हाँ.
That's nice. But Shub has created all these amazing graphs that he shared with us. तो अभी ना उसके बारे में बात करते हैं before anything else. 15 मिनट ही बचा था ना, कितनी कितनी बातें करेंगे. Let's see. Let me present this. Oh, not the whole screen. मैंने last time की तरह चलो. One second.
होला
Uh,
होला होला गुरकरन.
what's up, गुरकरण? यार बहुत दिन बाद आया गुरकरण.
अनावर मिद्या. नाइस.
So, so first, which graph do you want to talk about?
I think
I
the
think let's
graph which
start with.
is most telling is initially like Leclerc versus Verstappen, or these are basically mini sector plots as we so call them, or like for example we've known all these races कि Red Bull का aero efficiency बहुत high है, straights पे बहुत they are really good compared to every other team. So you can see that Red Bull has that advantage from the start all the way. It
Right.
carries that advantage in sector 3. You can see a blue line all the way in the last part of the sector, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And what is really impressive is that so ज़्यादा से time रहता है हमेशा slow corners में at the end of the
सही
day
है.
if you take the lap time, right? So
Yeah.
you can see that Leclerc is pretty much killing all the traction zones. So you can see the exit of turn 1 actually. If you go back to that, yeah, turn 1, exit of turn 2, you can see how
Right.
every exit is red. And then if
Right.
it's a longer straight before turn 3,
Right.
for example, it becomes blue. So
Right.
every traction zone, Leclerc is killing it.
Right.
Then you go into turn 3, turn 4, turn 5. But where Leclerc really stands out is 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. ये टर्न में ना भाई इस पे ना माता आ गई लास्ट सेक्टर में, सेकंड सेक्टर में. मैं
क्या?
आई एम नॉट
Why do
इवन
you think
जोकिंग.
this is there like that? मतलब,
So
we thought that like you mentioned, aero efficiency is much higher there. Then what happened?
so um so so the Ferraris have been very good in low speed corners, right? Now what I think is this is a bit of Leclerc magic, because if you see his
Hmm.
Q2 time, it is a
Hmm.
141 2, I think. Sorry,
Hmm.
141.0.
Hmm. 141.
141, yeah, 141.0, and his Q3
Right.
time is a 142,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
Now, if you
Hmm.
go to the telemetry plot and if you see what this guy is doing,
Hmm.
I had this plot where I was showing like Q2 plot, Q2 Leclerc lap and Q3 Leclerc lap. नहीं है, इसमें नहीं है. मैं आज
नहीं
सुबह
है.
कर रहा था उसका, इसमें नहीं है.
अच्छा.
But if you see where the time is, if you see the white line, right, that is the
Right.
delta, this gap to
ये
fastest.
तूने नया डाला. Nice.
हाँ, नया डाला है. So basically it tells
हाँ.
you how the gap varies with the lap, right?
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
you can see until turn 10, the
Hmm.
gap is pretty much zero.
Right.
Like they are neck to neck until
Right.
until
Right.
turn 10. But
Hmm.
the moment he comes out of exits turn 12, the gap
Hmm.
just
Hmm.
starts plummeting. Uska
Hmm. Hmm.
exit
Hmm.
turn 12 ka exit or turn 15 ka exit is where he
Right.
gains all the lap time, the delta lap
Hmm.
time
Hmm.
that is there between them. And you can see at the end
Right.
of the straight how that line starts to go slightly on top, but
Right.
is not able to make up all the distance, all the time
Right.
that Leclerc has made. But if you
Right.
just zoom into that turn 12 section, if you just zoom into that line on speed, right, you can see what he's doing here. If you look
Right.
at the speed trace of the Ferrari and the Red Bull, what you can
Yeah.
see is he is able to no, it's the next line. Yeah, just yeah, exactly. So he's able to not carry a lot of minimum speed through the corner while Verstappen loses a lot of speed, and
Right.
he's able to just be very confident on the throttle. So if you just come straight down, if you come
Hmm.
straight down to the throttle trace,
Hmm.
if you just pan the graph, you see here what
Yeah.
he can do exactly. So you see what he's doing. He's way
Right.
early onto the throttle
Right. Right.
compared to Verstappen, and that is where he's been really really bold. And also something really cool to see is how,
Hmm.
if you look at the next white line that is between 3,000 and 4,000 meters
Hmm.
of throttle, right? You
Right.
think, you see how Verstappen goes like flat, like in
Right.
the red line has like small throttle input still
Right.
there.
Right. Right. Right.
So
Right. Right.
he's turning in,
Right.
not there, yeah, down there. Once it goes,
Okay.
yeah, exactly. So you see how Verstappen has zero throttle on, and he's
Right.
turning, but the Ferrari has been able to be slightly on the throttle even while he's turning, and that is really impressive that he can do that in
Right.
a corner like that. And then he's able to stamp onto the throttle way earlier. So it's all about Leclerc being able to maximize his exits and
Hmm.
being onto the throttle earlier, which allows him to kind of, that traction that Ferrari has been incredibly good. And this has been present in the last couple of races also. But I think Baku kind of, because of the kind of track it is, it's a traction dominated track and top
Right.
speed dominated track. It shows the real
Right.
advantages of the Ferrari.
Right.
Or
Tell me one thing, that if Charles Leclerc is being able to do it, why? What happened with Sainz? Why is Sainz not Sainz there?
uh, to be honest, I didn't even bother to compare. It's a good comparison. It's a good question.
Not even
But
bothered. Nice.
see, yeah, not even bothered in the sense, like, I don't think Science is a bad driver. What I say is that Charles is a bit special around this track, as even Max Verstappen said. और ना साइंस का बहुत इंसिडेंट हो रहा था ऑलरेडी. तो क्या सीन होता है, बाकू जैसा स्ट्रीट सर्किट है, इतना टाइट और ट्विस्टी है, कॉन्फिडेंस इज एवरीथिंग जस्ट लाइक मोनाको.
Right.
So you would
Right.
have
Right.
expected it to be less. Another cool thing I've realized was that Alonso actually had the potential of qualifying P4 easy. अभी क्या
Oh.
हुआ अलोंसो, हाँ P4 इजी इजी क्वालिफाइंग कर, उसका डीआरएस चला ही नहीं
Hmm.
लास्ट लैप में भी. So
Hmm.
that was a lap
Oh.
time without DRS. So if you
Hmm.
compare his Q2 and Q3 time,
Hmm.
right,
Hmm.
he is
Hmm.
basically until the straight starts, he is
Hmm.
faster than himself by around 2 tenths,
Hmm.
around 0.15 seconds, and he should have gained more.
Yeah.
But it's not there in this. It's I'm just talking about
Acha.
Alonso in I'm just talking about Alonso in isolation. कि Alonso
Got
के
it. Got
पास
it.
थोड़ा time था. This in these
Hmm.
charts, this is something I realized I was doing today morning just to check कि भाई Alonso इतना slow क्यों था, because it's strange,
Acha,
right?
tell
That
me one thing. Sorry, I'm cutting you because of the time constraint. But focusing on Alonso, I read your GP fans blog. By the way, good blog, yeah. It looks like कहाँ से लिखवा रहे इतनी अच्छी English यार. I'm so sorry, but it was amazing. It was amazing to read somebody. I mean, our brother writing it so well. Anyways, coming back to the point, I read that Ferrari is far ahead. In fact, 1 second ahead of like, for example, Charles Leclerc is 1 second ahead of Fernando Alonso and Lewis Hamilton himself. So, what is happening there? I mean, do you think this will convert into the race pace as well?
so if you look at this plot, for example, Alonso versus Leclerc, right? You can see pretty much that Leclerc gains in every corner. So
Hmm.
the Ferraris just have more downforce compared to
Hmm.
even the Alonso. And Baku is a strange track because Baku has a lot of cooling requirements, because of which teams sometimes tend to run the cars slightly differently. अभी उसने
Hmm.
बोला ना Verstappen ने अपने इंटरव्यू में कि we decided to do an outlap slightly differently, जिसके वजह से
Okay.
I started losing rear tire grip through the lap. So
Hmm.
that's why he wasn't on pole. So it would
Hmm.
be, but coming back to your point of why there's a 1 second difference, the
Hmm.
honest answer is the Ferraris were quicker everywhere, through traction, through braking, through the straights, compared to
Hmm.
both the Mercedes and the and the Aston Martins. Now there is a caveat to that. In isolation, I think Leclerc would have been half a second faster than
Hmm.
Alonso. Not one
Hmm.
second, maybe not half a
Hmm.
second, maybe 0.6, point
Hmm.
0.7.
Hmm.
But the interesting thing, as we discussed, कि हम लोग बात कर रहे थे ना कि
Hmm.
फरारी हैड टेकन दिस अप्रोच कि क्वाली थोड़ा सैक्रिफाइस करके रेस कर रहे थे, रेस का
Hmm.
रेस सेटअप की कोशिश कर रहे थे. सो it will be very interesting to see if this actually manifests itself in the race,
Hmm.
because nobody has
Hmm.
proper race data, and the
Hmm.
sprint will be very telling.
Hmm.
Sprint will be a very important race because उससे पता चल
Hmm.
जाएगा कि फरारी किधर है.
Hmm.
But the good thing Ferrari has is they have good top speed. So even if
Hmm.
you have a Mercedes behind, and they have
Hmm.
great traction. So you see that
Hmm.
traction going out of the corner, of the
Yeah,
last
yeah, yeah.
corner,
Right,
would
right. I
really
saw.
help
Yeah.
them to stay ahead, even if their race pace is, let's say, two tenths slower
Hmm.
than Mercedes, then they would still be able to stay ahead because of the top speed and the traction advantage.
I think it's important to show this chart. They've taken this from
Top
somewhere.
speed chart.
No, the corner analysis chart.
Okay.
So this corner analysis tells us a lot of things
Yeah.
when we see in the slow corners, like you said, Ferrari has good traction. So you can absolutely see that Ferrari is probably like 2/10 better than any other team comparison to Red Bull itself. Other than that, in medium corners, they're very, 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 they're matching Red Bull almost. And in the straights, they are slightly slower than the Red Bull itself. But it's really interesting to see. But also a really important point that I want to point it out right now is Mercedes and Aston Martin is not there at all in terms of traction. When we see Aston Martin पहले 3 races के अंदर देखा Aston Martin slow corners के अंदर स्पेशली मैकेनिकल ग्रिप के कारण स्ट्रेट्स के अंदर तो उनकी गाड़ी ड्रैगी है ही है. बट यहाँ पे आकर हमको देख रहे हैं कि भाई स्लो कॉर्नर्स के अंदर भी गाड़ी अच्छा परफॉर्म नहीं करनी. ऐसा क्यों है भाई?
So you see the opposite trend you can see in the straights. So for some reason, this graph shows that the Aston Martin is quicker than the Red Bull on the straights.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Quicker
And I'll
than
tell you
Red
why.
Bull on the straights.
I'll tell you why.
उसका DRS भी काम नहीं कर रहा भाई. तू तो बोला भी कि
No.
DRS काम नहीं कर रहा उसके बाद भी. हाँ बोल.
तो क्या सीन था ना, ये डेटा मुझे लगता है FP1 का डेटा है, जिसमें जब DRS काम कर रहा था उनका, they were rapid. They were like 334 kilometers an hour. और quali में he just hit 325. So I think in FP1 they were trying a setup in which basically they were going for high speed, slightly low downforce setup. That is why you can see that difference. उसकी वजह से इस plot में ऐसा दिख रहा है कि slow speed corners में वो बहुत slow है comparatively, और straights में they've equal Red Bull somehow. तो ये सब डेटा का है कि किधर से डेटा आ रहा है, कैसे कर रहे हैं, क्योंकि ये बस दिखाते हैं, लेकिन you don't know what that source of data is.
बट यार कितना मतलब ये सही नहीं है. हम जैसे लोग क्या है, अब जैसे आप you pull out data from multiple sources, right? You pull out actual GPS data, you pull out actual engine performance, etc. data. For us, when we see a lot of content every single where on the internet, we get like, यार ऐसा सही है क्या नहीं है, वैसा सही है क्या नहीं है. I mean, I think we need a trustable source. Probably Formula 1 is not doing a really good job because that data chart has been pulled out of Formula 1 itself.
Yeah, I recognize that chart.
Yeah.
But another interesting thing is like even जब मैं पीटर विंसलेट के साथ chat कर रहा था, वो भी बोल रहा था कि भाई
Peter विंसलेट के साथ chat कर रहा था, we were just having coffee,
No, because he asked me, Shub, can you get information about DRS on data? क्योंकि उसको वो बोल रहा था कि मुझे बस DRS ऑफ दिखा रहा है, top speed 322 on the headshots I can see that they are going at 333. So can you give me like DRS on data? तो अभी हम लोग नया प्लॉट बना रहे हैं पीटर के लिए कि every session के बाद DRS on DRS off double bar charts, so you know the exact difference relatively.
Nice.
और वो एक बहुत अच्छा प्लॉट बनेगा, आज शाम को बनाएंगे, देखते हैं sprints if we can get it out of the sprint.
Peter did give an amazing introduction to you, and
yes,
I liked it. It was really nice. It was really
he was
nice.
very kind. He was very kind.
Yeah. Perfect. Tell me one last question that I have of all these data, etc. Can Charles Leclerc repeat it?
Can Charles Leclerc repeat it?
Right.
Yes, there are signs. अगर उसमें माता आई तो he'll be full of confidence.
माता आई.
बंदे में confidence रहेगा.
ना सुन रहा हूँ.
If he maintains that traction on the contact patch, and is slightly, is on the throttle while turning in.
Yeah. No. Let's say all the obvious things. I think it depends on the traction. I think it depends on the tire temperature. Let's see what the track conditions are. How is it involved? सब बोल देते हैं ना. आता क्या है, सारे जितने भी F1 पंडित हैं उनको आती 6-7 चीजें घुमा फिरा के सोशल साइंस के चैप्टर की तरह बोलते रहते हैं.
I think it will depend on whether Red Bull and Max Verstappen side of the garage overcomes the difficulties or understands what the problem was in the previous qualifying. If they're able to get their rear tires in the right temperature, I think Max will be quite keen to make up, being the driver he is. So yeah, I mean, it's going to be a close battle. So that's a good news for us. Like in
so
that
the mandatory tires of SQ1 is medium, not hard. I just saw.
अरे जनता के लिए
कोई
एक बार
और?
थोड़ा ये करना कि स्प्रिंट क्वालिफाइंग कैसा डिफरेंट रहेगा, जस्ट फॉर पीपल टू नो इफ यू आर अप.
Got it. Got it. Perfect. I think hello everybody. Hello guys. I'm so sorry I didn't address at all till now, but yeah, I mean so ये क्या भसड़ फैलाई है इन लोगों ने, फॉर्मूला वन वालों ने. बहुत मजा आती है इन लोगों क्वालिफाइंग स्प्रिंट खेलने में. क्या है कि वो स्टेफन डोमिनिकाली, हु इज द सीईओ ऑफ, हु इज द प्रेसिडेंट ऑफ एफआई ऑफ फॉर्मूला वन, he said that practicing is too much. बहुत practicing हो रही है, so he's got to reduce the practicing number of times. Because practicing, though it's an engineer's dream, 3 बार practice करना, all the updates, especially Alpine के जो updates हैं, they're all now in burn. I saw Sam Collins' video yesterday, and he said that almost all of the updates except the floor is all in the flames now. But anyways, coming back to the point of view, sprint race क्या है? Sprint race पिछले साल मेन रेस की ग्रिड बनाती थी, पर इस साल स्प्रिंट रेस इज एंटायर वीकेंड इटसेल्फ. सैटरडे एक अलग ही दिन बन चुका है. फ्राइडे को जो क्वालिफाइंग होगी वो उसने मेन ग्रिड बनाया संडे की रेस के लिए. सैटरडे की क्वालिफाइंग अभी हो रही है राइट नाउ. गो आउट एंड चेक आउट योर F1 TV Pro channel so you can see it live. Other than that, this will set the grid for the sprint that will happen today, later in the day. तो ये दोनों एक इंडिविजुअल वीकेंड मान सकते हो, एक T20 मैच मान सकते हो. दिस इज व्हाट लॉरेंस पेरेट said in his press release itself. It's this new sprint shootout is like a T20 match, whatever. Coming back to the point of view, इसके अंदर भी है ना एक और झोल है. झोल क्या है कि जनरली स्प्रिंट या रेस या किसी कोई भी फॉर्मूला वन सेशन के अंदर यू हैव अ लिबर्टी टू चूज एनी टायर्स, बट राइट नाउ इन द स्प्रिंट क्वालिफाइंग you are compelled to use SQ1, which is sprint qualifying. Q1 is the first qualifying session. You have to use a medium. Then in the SQ2, you have to use a medium again. And then in SQ3, which is the final stage, you have to use softs only. You can't change these tires. मान लो आप पीछे चल रहे हो, and then maybe you're a Mercedes or an Aston Martin is not performing as well as you want. You still can't use a soft. You have to use a medium itself. पहले ये हार्ड था, बट इसको चेंज करके मीडियम बना दिया. बट यार एक बात बता शुभ, isn't Mercedes in a bad state already? Because we imagine that SQ1 is going to be a hard. Mercedes used their medium tires already in FP1. What's up with them now? Do you think they'll be in a disadvantage? Because there are still 2 more sessions to go, which is one sprint and the main race. And in the main race, medium tires are the more efficient tires when we talk about Baku itself. Do you think that Mercedes is in a bad position?
Well, it's a hard question to answer because I guess मतलब I think team को decide करना पड़ेगा कि किधर compromise करें. You know, at some point it's a compromise. So I think maybe Mercedes have the idea of कि हम लोगों को race important है. We will optimize our race and that's what we will go with. Maybe that's what it is. But to be very honest with you, ये जो झोल हो रहा है टायर्स का, I have not kept up with it. और मेरे को पता भी नहीं किसके पास कितने टायर है. I am waiting for the commentators to tell me कि भाई किसके पास क्या है. अपना करण चांडुक है, अपना बंदा है इसमें, बताएगा हमको.
अपना भाई है वहाँ पे. हाँ सही बात है. By the way, I just heard the news, not just heard, but half an hour earlier, I heard the news that Pirelli is gonna increase the tire pressure by 1 psi. So now the front tire is gonna be 26 psi, and the rear tire is gonna be 24 psi. For everybody who doesn't know how the tire pressure creates a difference, can you please enlighten us, Shub?
So, 1 second. So yeah, so the tire pressure is quite important because it almost determines what will be your contact patch and how much scrubbing will go onto the tire, right? So क्या होता है, now why did, for example, Pirelli increase the tire pressures? Because the lower tire pressures normally mean more grip. More grip means more scrubbing of the rubber, more heating of the tires, hence more chances of a failure. Now if you remember 2021 जो अपने Verstappen भाई के साथ हुआ था, exactly, right? So what Pirelli do is they from उनके simulation के हिसाब से they come with an estimate tire pressures for this race, क्योंकि remember कि उनका टायर भी चेंज हुआ है बहुत.
Yellow flag X1, sorry,
तो उनका टायर भी बहुत चेंज हुआ है. तो based on the data that they've collected, they'll end up increasing the tire pressure to slightly be on the safer side कि भाई अपना टायर गिव अप नहीं करेगा, उड़ेगा नहीं.
सही बात है. But will it create more difficulty in people to get the tire in the right temperature?
It will make a difference. Whether it will make a
Mm.
difficulty normally higher, yes, it will make higher tire pressures would normally mean it would be difficult to put energy into the tires. So yes, it would. If they have a
Right.
temperature problem, then
Mm-hmm.
that would be it. But it looks like you would have an overheating problem at this track, not a
Right.
minimum temperature problem. So I don't think
Got
they'll
it.
struggle. What they'll struggle is maybe by overheating the tires, something like that.
Got it. And probably it depends on the track temperature because yeah, this race is in the morning session, and the actual race is going to be in an afternoon session there. मतलब
Yeah.
यहाँ India में तो afternoon चल रहा है, so probably that will matter as well.
Hmm.
But yeah, I mean, interesting points. Outlap will matter a lot then, I guess.
Yes, very
The
much,
age
very
of the
much.
tire will also matter. अगर पुराना age का tire which is already scrubbed, so probably वो even more difficult होने वाला है. But yeah.
Hmm. So yeah, like जैसे मैं बोल रहा था, हम लोग कल बात कर रहे थे कि all this entire weekend मतलब हमारे लिए तो chaos है, लेकिन it throws these variables which can mess things up for the team because teams don't know.
Mm,
Like
nice.
देख भाई, लक पहले से ही भेज रहा है, सही बात है, 143.3 है.
मैक्स वर्स्टैपन 143.5. अच्छा मैं तेरे से पीछे चलने लगता है. हाँ मैं पीछे चल रहा हूँ. हाँ बस चार्ल्स लाइक 143.3. टाइम स्टैम्प बता तेरा.
606.
नाइस. आई एम ओनली 2 seconds behind. ओए कौन है? ऑस्कर पियास्ट्री गया.
Piastri.
ब्रेक्स आर ऑन फ्लेम.
See, that's the thing about Azerbaijan. Like Baku ke braking is such a hard track on braking ki you are, if you stop your car, if you have a problem, if you stop, that thing is going to go in flames for sure.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
So don't be.
I think it's. Tell me if it's right or wrong. It's because after a long straight, when you have a 90-degree corner, and that's probably 90-degree corners are how many? Turn 1, 2, 3, probably 4. So when there are multiple 90-degree corners, so you have to brake like a long time before. So basically like 50 to 90 meters before, and so the braking distance is longer. So brake has to affect more, right? So ज़्यादा use आता है, probably ज़्यादा overload किया जाता है. Is that the right thing to say?
Yes and no. There's a slight caveat to that. Ki bhai, braking is longer, but the key bit is that braking is harder because you're decelerating from a higher speed all the time,
अच्छा.
and that is a key point. Now you would say, oh, but you have so many straights that follow because if there's a lot of straights, you have more mass flow. So ठंडा होना चाहिए टायर, as brake
सही बात
ठंडा होना
सही
चाहिए,
बात है.
क्यों नहीं हो रहा?
सही ये बात भी सही है.
But
बिल्कुल.
but the thing is that after a lot of 90-degree turns, you'll end up going into a sector 2, which is twisty and turning
Got it.
all the time. So you're
Got it.
still on the brakes, turning, and
Right.
that is what lands up overheating your tires, overheating your brakes a lot. और उसके ऊपर तो अगर traffic डाले तो भाई चला गया. And you might have heard what's her name? The Aston Martin strategist.
Dan Carlos?
Strategist.
Not strategist. Bernie Collins.
Yeah, Bernie Collins. So she yesterday वो commentary ने उसने बहुत अच्छा insight दिया था कि the
Hmm.
traffic effect is very big
Hmm.
in
Hmm.
in Baku. So
अच्छा.
if she says
अच्छा.
that, so people have to account for
She's
that कि
worked.
अगर तू
Yeah.
अटका है, हाँ.
Yeah. I've heard her story. I mean, Sky Sports ने एक dedicated भी डाला था उसके बारे में. कुरकरन क्या बोल रहा है? 1 psi is peanuts, but at high speed over 300 kilometers per hour, it puts a significant change in the tire wall flex. Okay, maybe done better straight line to following high speed braking. I think he's
Well,
saying something very similar or something else.
Well, Gurkaran, I don't say 1 psi is peanuts. Tell that to a driver and he'll kill you over 1 psi wrong pressure setup. Um, if you've played a lot of Esteta Corsa also, you'll know that 1 psi can make a lot of difference in on a long lap, especially when you have rear tire heating.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not peanuts, I would say. It's peanuts in our cars. Doesn't
Mm-hmm.
matter. But in these
That's true.
cars, the driver can feel 1 psi off on a tire. I mean,
Yeah,
my
fine. And
friend could feel it. My friend could
Right.
feel the difference. So I'm pretty sure an F1 driver could feel it. And my
Who's
friend
your
was a
friend?
professional driver.
Max
I had a
Verstappen?
Portuguese. No, no. I had a like one of the Portuguese karting champion was one of my
Yeah.
batchmates. So he was a good friend of mine.
Yeah.
So we spent a lot of
I
time in
think
Corona doing a lot of track stuff. So he used to teach me a lot of this.
though it depends on which tire and which compound, etc. But I really think that the working temperature or the working pressure of any tire probably will lie around a gap of 4 or 5 psi, as in 20 to 25, probably. So if 1 psi change will result into 15 to 20%, I guess. So probably there, but yes, because you've talked to a driver itself, and the driver is the person who actually generates every traction. So I guess that's where.
Oh, their asses are like sensors, and their hands are such
Yeah.
feedback mechanisms. Goodness.
Hmm. I think Jamie also said the similar stuff. And Jamie Shaw, he is a F Formula 2000 driver, and he's a good guy. So he said that when he was on the channel. Other than that, I think Nathan Jacobs, who owns Snap Racing, is the team that he owns in INRC, International Racing Championship. So he also said the same. So the driver's asses are the best. How do you call this? Sensors. Yeah.
Sensors. Well, Williams are doing quite well, aren't they?
Yeah. Yeah.
Ninth and 10th.
Better than yesterday.
Genuine
Yeah.
pace.
Yeah. I just want to see Alpine there as well. Where is Alpine? What happened to Pierre Gasly? Is he not even competing?
I don't know. Yeah, he's still in the pits.
P9?
Looks like he's going to be out. See, that's the problem. I think they must have brought all the upgrades and they don't have parts to put in that car, maybe. They don't want to risk it, maybe. Who knows?
Hmm.
Sonoda is like the outlier right now because उसने एक बहुत अच्छा किया था यार last quali में तो. So now this will also be interesting because last quali happened in the evening or in the hour,
You're right.
and this quali is happening in the morning. So again, tire
Hmm.
temperatures will come in. Oh, गई गाड़ी, गई Logan
Iski,
Sargent
oh,
की गई गाड़ी.
hmm, but he's at least in rescue too.
Yeah, red flag. गया सेशन गया. कौन कौन
I
गया?
think
सेशन will be
Jogo
closed.
New Botas गया, दोनों अल्फा टाउरी गए, गैसली गया.
Sonoda is the one who lost out, no?
हाँ.
See, that's why the times are like 140 to 8, even though they're pushing. This is the temperature effect.
Temperature effect, more temperature. हाँ. गर्मी है अभी. Hello Anuj, what's up? What's up? What do you think, guys? Who will win? यार इसमें win lose का तो कुछ है नहीं, but अगर sprint की pole position के बारे में बात करें तो I think Shub has already mentioned that Charles Leclerc is going to be up there. Also looking at the chart right now, on the timing sheet right now, Max Verstappen looking 0.468 seconds behind Charles Leclerc. This is something 0.468. 410.
That's an
इतना
interesting
ज़्यादा
gap,
क्यों?
no?
इतना
क्या
ज़्यादा
होगा?
क्यों?
Maybe Leclerc might have set his lap now and Verstappen ने थोड़ा पहले सेट किया होता, so track evolution की वजह से हो जाता है कभी कभार.
But इतना track evolution मिल जाए, इतना होता है क्या?
भाई बाकू है.
अच्छा.
The one to finish the cross the line at the end has the
Right.
maximum grip.
Or probably Charles Leclerc would have gone a slide toe from somebody.
Slide toe.
Probably. Yeah. Please share. क्यों? नहीं करना भैया. मरवा रहे तो मेरे को चैनल बंद कराना चाहता था मैं. So that we can see what's going on. So sorry, bro. I think you need to purchase. I think you need to buy or Google where you can see. Any hot take from this GP?
Any hot take from this GP? Yeah, I mean, lots of hot takes from this GP. Although you cannot. I mean, lots of hot takes from this GP. Apart from Fernando Alonso, has been very hot with his Taylor Swift relationship.
Yeah, I think there was.
And he's playing along. Huh? He's playing along quite well.
Yeah, he's been a master. I saw his interview, and he's like, I don't want to comment on that. I've already said what. Right, so he's being a player. What a player! Remember?
I don't know if the Ferrari distracted him. I don't know if the Ferrari distracted him.
Let me repeat. See. There was certainly Carlos Sainz's Ferrari out there. I think, I don't know.
Surely it must have distracted him.
No, why will look what Ferrari already did was उसने corner काटा because he was not on a hot lap, he was on out lap or in lap or something. So उसने corner काटा. I don't think the Ferrari distracted him. Just 1 second, somebody's calling me.
Chat, what do you think? Who do you think will be put it on pole? Will it be Max Verstappen or Charles Leclerc, or will we have a surprise, or will the Ferrari crash because of being overconfident?
ओ भाई साहब क्या क्या अरे कुछ तो फन देखने दो उससे क्या you want what all the races to be won by Max Verstappen or Red Bull or what?
Are you saying that to me? मैंने बस
Yes,
पूछा
I'm
है,
saying that.
ओपन एंड क्वेश्चन था कि कौन डालेगा पोल
नहीं
पे और
ये
क्या
ओपन एंड
फरारी
क्वेश्चन
क्रैश
नहीं
होगा.
था. ये ओपन
I
एंड
said
नहीं
which
था.
of the Ferraris will crash.
अच्छा which of the Ferrari will crash? ठीक है भाई.
कि भाई साइंस तो बोलेगा कि भाई मैं 8/10 तो पीछे नहीं रह सकता, मेरे को भगानी पड़ेगी गाड़ी, भगा के ठोकेगा.
हार्दिक बोल रहा है हैमिल्टन. यार हैमिल्टन
नहीं भाई,
पोल पे तो नहीं आ सकता है. I don't know if it would be a chaotic Grand Prix, then probably if he is like P4 or P5 or something, probably we can even think about it. But बहुत मुश्किल होने वाला है to put it on pole or something. How is
लेक्लर्क और पेरेज. तो भाई आदित्य भाई वर्स्टैपन का क्या होगा? You don't think Verstappen? Sergio Perez. I mean, Sergio Perez is not looking very nice, is it?
Not this weekend. Not at least in the sessions that you've seen. And there's just been 3 sessions already of this Grand Prix. But
अच्छा बता, SQ1 और SQ2 ही होता है क्या? SQ3 नहीं है?
है ना?
मैं पूछ रहा हूँ. Do you have SQ1, SQ2, SQ3 or SQ1 and SQ2 only?
नहीं 3. SQ1 to 3.
ये अपना भाई.
अरे कल मैं ना उसका क्वालिफाइंग देख रहा था F2 का. तो उसके अंदर है ना, उसके अंदर खाली एक ही सेशन होता है. कभी देखा तूने क्वालिफाइंग F2 का? देखा है. तो उसके अंदर क्या होता है, एक ही सेशन होता है. तो एवरीबडी 6 या 5 मिनट बचे थे. एवरीबडी नो देयर वाज ह्यूज ट्रैफिक. पूरा ग्रिड ट्रैफिक में लॉक था. सब एक दूसरे के पीछे थे क्योंकि सबको टो चाहिए. कौन आगे जाए वाला चल रहा था. I mean, it was something to watch.
I have to go watch the highlights of this. This sounds interesting.
Right. I don't know if highlight पे आएगा नहीं आएगा, वो repeat देखना क्योंकि highlight पे importance आती है. ये तो मजाक की चीज है. Who is your personal favorite? Shub's personal favorite is Alonso because he answered yesterday, and my personal favorite was Vettel as answered yesterday. What does Max eat? Khana khata hai. Perez could have gotten pole yesterday if Loki messed up the Loki. What is Loki? Messed up the middle sector. I don't know. मेरे को तेरा क्वेश्चन समझ नहीं आया, वापस बोलना है प्लीज. Verstappen from my gut feeling might be overconfident. Overconfident यार. Overconfident होता तो 2 वर्ल्ड चैंपियनशिप नहीं जीत पाता. ऐसा करना होता. और शुभ का दोस्त अच्छा है ऐसे. शुभ keep him grounded.
अरे मैं I'll keep him grounded. I'm like साले शुभेट.
जब कौन है तू? साले कैली दीदी को बुलाऊं अभी.
F1 with गीत पे देखता है तू?
जो Verstappen को बोलता चाचा इसको चुप कराओ यार.
नहीं चाहिए इसकी बकचोदी. रूमर सब मैं स्प्रेड करूंगा. Don't worry.
Perez has the same car, but look at his performance. Yes. Perez should get advice from Rosberg to beat Verstappen in the same machine.
Rosberg and Perez. Gosh.
Rosberg. बात पता नहीं है. Rosberg is.
But I have to actually say, I think Rosberg was very underrated. I think to beat Lewis Hamilton in equal machinery मतलब उसने जिस हिसाब से डिस्क्राइब किया ना उसका सीजन, मतलब उसने जान डाल ली थी कि भाई ये if I don't win मैं मरेगा करके. Have you heard a story like how he told his family to just go away, like his wife, his daughter,
No, I didn't.
hired a
I didn't.
hired a psychologist. He hired
अच्छा,
a sports psychologist so that he
अच्छा,
could focus on one race at one time and just be
हाँ,
in that zone all the time, like not
right,
worry about his wife and all. And his
right,
psychologist would always feed him that information. He started getting people in the team, his
अच्छा,
mechanics, his side of the garage, very
हम्म,
influenced by him.
हम्म,
um, got support for him, and that's why you see like people at Mercedes. If you see his
हम्म,
race victories, there are people who genuinely want him to beat Lewis,
हम्म,
and because Rosberg उस टीम में पहले से था, लुइस
हम्म,
से पहले था ना वो, मर्सिडीज कब ज्वाइन किया,
हाँ,
जब मर्सिडीज
या
चालू की
या
तब
जब
तब से
मर्सिडीज
ज्वाइन
चालू हुई
किया
थी
था ना
तो
वो. हाँ,
विद
तो पीपल लाइक्ड हिम.
विद माइकल शूमाकर, या,
हाँ, एंड ही वाज वेरी टेक्निकल, वेटेल की तरह था वो
हम्म,
थोड़ा. वो इंजीनियर्स
हम्म,
के साथ बैठता था. इवन अभी
हम्म,
उसने यूट्यूब चैनल चालू किया है, कितना टेक्निकल बोलता है
देखो
देख.
ना, हाँ,
बहुत
देखा
टेक्निकल
देखा,
बोलता है.
आई
So
फॉलो
he
हिम
was a
लॉट,
very
या,
technical driver, which allowed him to have this rapport with engineers.
राइट,
And on the other side is Lewis Hamilton कि भाई मैं फील्ड से ड्राइव करेगा, तुम लोग मराओ.
हाँ, वो सिमुलेशंस भी नहीं करता है रेसेस की, वो
हाँ,
बस मैं
तो
कर लेगा अपने आप से, टेंशन नहीं कर.
but it's very impressive like when he describes what it took, and that's why he said I retired. ऐसा नहीं था कि मेरे को जीत के रिटायर करना था. It's like I understood what it would take to win another championship against Lewis when he's even more determined.
हम्म.
हार गए ना, अभी उसको बीट करना है उसको. So he
By the
said
way, I bring you someone more. Sorry, मैं तेरी बात काट रहा हूँ, but the casual F1 fan is another Instagram channel. Uh,
सही
he
नाम है
does
यार,
good job. Sorry,
सही
सही
नाम है,
नाम है.
कैजुअल F1 फैन.
I think he's somewhere related to F1. मैंने इसके एक शॉट में देखा था कि he's somewhere related. He was working with F1. इतना मुझे याद नहीं है कहाँ काम कर
अच्छा,
रहा था.
बताएगा
बता
ना,
ना यार,
अपना अपना भाई
बता
बताएगा.
ना.
कैजुअल F1 फैन, बता भाई तो F1 से
बता
कैसे
भाई,
रिलेटेड
बता.
है.
हाँ, and he requested me, I mean not requested, he asked me for a
मार्शल बंदी
karaoke
हॉट है.
session as well.
मार्शल बंदी
वही
हॉट है
आपको भी
ऑन
कहूंगा
ट्रैक
यार.
इट. अगला वाला
अरे
कमेंट
ये सब, अरे गुरकरन तू कब से करने लग गया ये सब? तेरे को पता है क्या हुआ था? अभी पता है क्या हुआ आईपीएल के अंदर, है ना? ओह माय गॉड, दिस स्टार्टेड अ कंट्रोवर्सी. आई डोंट नो इफ आई शुड से दिस और नॉट. सो आईपीएल के ऊपर, है ना, कोई बंदा आया मैच देखने, एक प्ले कार्ड लेके आया जिसके ऊपर लिखा था मैं यहाँ पे मैच देखने नहीं आया, रशियन चीयर लीडर्स देखने. And this triggered something. This triggered a very small discussion or whatever we call this on social media. Not nice to see somebody doing that. um, Rosberg was my favorite after Vettel. Nice. पता है क्या जो आप Vettel Rosberg के बारे में बता रहे हो? This was briefly mentioned by Mohit Bhai. Mohit Bhai, who we used to watch these races with watch alongs करता था मैं मोहित भाई के साथ, अभी भी करता हूँ, but we don't get time much. But anyways, he told me that Rosberg ने जब retirement लिया था, वो ये बोल के लिया था, यार अब मुझसे नहीं हो पाएगा. I've done this once, I'm done with it now. I've proved that I can, but I'm done with it now. Do you think Russell should get top 5 with a horrible position to stand? I don't know. ये क्या ये ये क्वेश्चन क्या है मुझे समझ नहीं आया. पहले पोजीशन तो बता कौन सी चाहिए उसका.
11 थी ना? नहीं, मुझे लगता है वो, आई थिंक ही इज टॉकिंग अबाउट द रेस, कल के क्वालीफाइंग पोजीशन.
अच्छा अच्छा. हाँ यार, P11 से लुकिंग एट द कार, अगर अपन एक बार के लिए चार्ट वापस देखें,
हाँ कर सकता है. मतलब P5 you need somebody to retire because the Ferraris are fast, and you'd
I don't
expect
know.
Alonso to be there, you'd expect Perez and Verstappen to be there. So P6 is a possible position. P5 maybe, I don't know.
I think this track has huge potential for overtakes. Good straights. There are a couple of one chicane as well. Good slow corners. I really think. I think P6, because all the above are good. I mean, Alonso etc. के आसपास रह सकता है यार वो. देखना पड़ेगा. It'll be fun to watch.
You might have a late safety car which might spice things up. होता है
Maybe.
नॉर्मली. बाकू पे क्या होता है ना कि अगेन दिस इज ऑलवेज कूलिंग रिलेटेड, कि जब भी आपकी सेफ्टी कार आए तो सबकी फट जाती है, क्योंकि सेफ्टी कार के पीछे फास्ट नहीं जा सकते ये लोग. The temperatures keep rising, and everybody is nervous normally at Baku कि भाई सेफ्टी कार आएगी, ट्रैफिक में स्लो जाना पड़ेगा और हमारी फटेगी करके. So what happens is one safety car can, you remember how the restart of Hamilton when in 2021, like उस
Yeah, I
टाइम
remember.
रेड बुल
Brake
के
balance.
ब्रेक तो बॉर्न हो रहे थे, मतलब हमको लगा था
I
नहीं
saw.
पहुंचेंगे करके.
Yeah, turn one के अंदर नहीं पहुंच पाएंगे. I remember. Yes.
So that's what one safety car can lead to another safety car quite easily in Baku, and the later it is in the track, the more reliability problems can hit. तो उससे क्या होगा कि अगर कुछ लेट सेफ्टी कार है तो रसल भाई को चांस मिलेगा, और आपको तो पसंद है रसल भाई, मेरे को तो बिल्कुल पसंद नहीं है.
क्यों? क्या खाया था आपकी? बहस मारी आपकी?
अरे आपको याद है वो इवेंट कौन से रेस के, पता नहीं था यार, बोटास के साथ जब एक्सीडेंट
Crikey.
हाँ, उसने उसको थप्पड़ मारा सर पे, मैंने बोला हटा भाई इसको.
I think it was a wet Imola. बोटास की बोल रहा है ना?
हाँ, बोटास को थप्पड़ मारा, अपने कैजुअल F1 भाई फैन ने बताया. देख,
I'm writing. Yeah, he writes for Sportskeeda F1 Vertical. Yes, he writes for them. That's what I was thinking. The connection. तेरा नाम क्या है? Can you please mention your name again? The casual F1 fan. I don't recollect right now, but can you please mention that?
he has his own
McLaren
YouTube
made a
channel as
car
well.
which is fast. Yes, he has a good Instagram and a YouTube channel too. McLaren made a car which is as fast as Aston Martin's without DRS. Aston Martin was DRS ठीक हो गया क्या Aston Martin by the way? अरे Max Verstappen S1 purple.
चलो चालू हो गया चैट एकदम,
चालू हो गया. हाँ.
देखते हैं. Verstappen is lighting it up. Purple sectors. Purple sector 1, 35-2, 35-3 Hamilton. Russell is 36-6. Russell is 3/10 slower than Hamilton in sector 1. कौन मरा भाई?
Yellow flag sector 2 again. क्या है ये?
It is that one of that is it Hulkenberg?
How did Max Verstappen? Why didn't Max Verstappen slow down in S2? Sector 2 अगर yellow था तो Max Verstappen slow down होना चाहिए था ना? Why didn't he?
He must have not been in sector 2, no? He must have started sector 3. Was he?
He was.
Nah, he must have been in sector 3. Because then they faced.
वो क्या पता?
हाँ. अच्छा, it's a green flag.
अच्छा, it's a green flag again.
7/10, 1.7. क्या अपने हल्कनबर्ग को?
अरे यार हल को हुआ क्या है?
ठोकते ही जा रहा है इन दिनों में. तो उसने बोला नहीं, गाड़ी नहीं होगी टर्न. क्या बचाई भाई गाड़ी, मस्त. अरे सैम कॉलिंस का मैं वो F1 टेक टॉक का वीडियो देख रहा था, और मेरे को गुस्सा है भाई एक बात पे जो उसने बोली.
क्या बोला?
वो अपने अल्पिन के अपडेट्स एक्सप्लेन कर रहा था ना. तो बोला कि ये अल्पिन का जो कटआउट रहता है, जो फ्रंट विंग का उन लोगों ने कटआउट लेके आए हैं, बहुत ज्ञान दे रहा है उस पे, और बोल रहा है कि भाई there will be a lot of people on the internet telling you that this is how it works.
I heard that.
And none of that is this way. I can tell you there's something more complex.
और खुद ने भी नहीं बताया. खुद ने भी नहीं बताया.
I can tell you that there's a lot of complex things going on there. नहीं, that is a simple cutout to balance your freaking car because of a low downforce rear wing. Sam Collins. नहीं, कुछ कॉम्प्लेक्स नहीं हो रहा वहां पे. मैं बताता हूँ वो कटआउट क्यों दिखता है. मैंने बनाया था उस पे आर्टिकल, एक वीडियो बनाने की कोशिश हो रही थी, लेकिन मैंने बोला कि भाई थोड़ा लेट हो गया करके, अभी जनता नहीं देखेगी इस वीडियो को. तो इस वीकेंड के बाद यू नो रिमेम्बर फरारी लेके आई थी कुछ ऐसे जेडा में फ्रंट विंग का कटआउट. इट इज सिंपली द वे इट इज, क्योंकि they want to maintain the same front wing philosophy but lose the front downforce a little bit to balance the car. और क्या होता है, वो ऐसे इतना अगली कटआउट इसीलिए दिखता है क्योंकि ऑफ द फ्रंट विंग रेगुलेशंस,
Okay.
because of the kind of radius rules that you have around your flap trims, उसकी वजह से वो इतना गंदा दिखता है। और कुछ नहीं है भाई सैम कॉलिंस इसके पीछे, इतना 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 अरे अपने को पता नहीं तो दूसरा का भी मत मारो यार ऐसे इतने बड़े स्टेज पर।
If you can't convince people, confuse people. Huh?
हाँ अरे लोग सुनते हैं यार उसकी, इसीलिए बोल रहा हूँ। अगर किसी एरिया
अरे
ने
वो
बोला
उसका
था
बस
तो मेरे को
प्लेटफॉर्म
क्या
मिला
पड़ा।
हुआ है ना। अरे क्यों नहीं होगा, वो प्लेटफॉर्म मिला है इतना बड़ा।
हाँ तो he should use that in a better way, he speaks well but he
He
speaks
speaks well. हाँ एक आध I think ये उसका जो वो था वो उसका गलत रहा। उसको ये सब नहीं बोलना चाहिए था कि भाई वो फलाना निकाड़ा करके। But yeah, in general he is nice. In general he is nice.
मजेदार आदमी है।
मेहनत करता है, अच्छा लगता है। Are you sad for Vettel
हाँ
retiring? Yes, I wish Vettel was here in the car in place of Fernando or in place of Lance Stroll, to be very honest. How do you say McLaren have they improved? They definitely improved. यार results ही बता रहे हैं।
definitely
देख तो
improved, they
ऑस्कर
are
पियास्ट्री
fighting।
तक P10 में अभी।
हाँ
But Russell P11 again, and he's not improving. Yellow sector
he's
1,
improving,
green
he's
flag.
improving by
Yeah.
7 tenths, 8 tenths
Sector
faster
2
than
के
the
अंदर।
P10,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
it's relative to Piastri।
yeah. अरे आगाम ने कोई बात बोली तो मुझे पता नहीं है। Do you know this? What did Gunther Steiner say about Mercedes?
I missed this because I was answering. I remember this discussion was going on when we were talking about the plots, so I missed this discussion. क्या था
So what was that?
आगम, बताओ। आगम
Agam,
बताएगा
please
हमको।
enlighten us. Is there a chance Stroll might get out? I don't
Yeah,
know.
with
यार
some bad driving,
five
why
tenth
not?
है। यार seeing Ocon and P13 is not nice. I expect many more things from Ocon यार।
फिर से जो आपको ड्राइवर पसंद है वो उतने मेरे को इतना ज्यादा पसंद नहीं है।
नहीं देखो
ओकॉन।
क्या है कि मुझे ना देखो ओकॉन क्या है, मुझे अंडरडॉग बहुत पसंद है, ठीक है, बिकॉज आई हैव बीन अंडरडॉग ऑल माय लाइफ। तो आई लव अंडरडॉग्स। मुझे वो लोग पसंद है जो हारते हैं, क्योंकि मैं खुद एक बैक बेंचर था। तो आई लव पीपल हु, जैसे एस्टन मार्टिन अच्छी लग रही है देखने में इस साल। क्यों? क्योंकि वो बैक बेंचर थी लास्ट टाइम। कौन है येलो सेक्टर 2? क्या कर रहा है कोई? शार्ल लेक्लर्क ओनली S2 P2। क्या ये कोई गेम खेल रहे हैं क्या? ग्रीन फ्लैग येलो फ्लैग, ग्रीन फ्लैग येलो फ्लैग, मजाक चल रहा है?
मजाक ही चल रहा है भाई।
Russell is so badly committed to his plans, twerking, jerking, peaking so badly. I think ये on board है Russell के, क्योंकि अभी तक तो दिखाया नहीं ना Russell का स्टीयरिंग व्हील, ड्राइवर्स भी नहीं दिखाया।
ट्वर्किंग नहीं था गीत भाई, ट्वर्किंग अपना रसल करेगा तो मजा आएगा।
वो कर सकता है, वो उस लेवल का बकचोद आदमी कर सकता है। तो वो याद है वो वाला जो इंसिडेंट था, उसने क्या बढ़िया मीम बनाया था रे। मर्सिडीज में बनाया था। तो उसका अभी इंट्रो वीडियो के अंदर है। He was saying that Mercedes cannot win. आगम का है, Mercedes cannot win. They have to accept it. They had 8 good years in F1 and that doesn't mean F1. Formula 1 Mercedes. That doesn't mean Formula 1. I think I get the point. तो आपका क्वेश्चन क्या था? What do you think about Gunther Steiner's view on Mercedes? I think, look, Gunther Steiner is a very respected. Gunther Steiner is a very I think before Christian Horner, Gunther Steiner was the first choice of Red Bull Deep mattresses and Helmut Marko. So he was sent off to carry on the Red Bull's division of NASCAR for a long period of time, for some years, and then he came back. I think he's a well-reputed guy. If he says something, that means shit. I mean, means good, not shit. Sorry, he means business. So if he's saying that, probably he has something. He has more knowledge than I have, at least. What do you think about it?
Well, मुझे लगता है कि भाई गुंटर स्टाइनर wears his heart on his sleeves. Piastri
That's
P10,
true as well.
just made it in
Yes,
P10.
repeat
Albon
then.
is P7, not bad. अभी स्ट्रोल स्ट्रोल आ गया,
आ गया
Piastri
ऊपर
को
आ
उड़ा
गया.
दिया. Russell, man, Russell is 4 tenths off. He has 4 tenths available with him. Maybe Norris is going to be kicked out here.
How will Norris get kicked off? Who's on the track? Who's live?
Oh
I
yeah,
think
yeah,
that's
yeah.
safe.
Sorry, हाँ 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 हाँ. Correct, correct. I thought Russell was down.
हाँ
सही बोला,
नहीं,
सही
रसल
बोला.
P9 पे अभी.
क्या करता है रसल? हैमिल्टन के पीछे छुप जाता है.
But it's a shocker, yeah. I mean, it's been what, third year now, and I can't see Carlos Sainz anywhere near Charles Leclerc. Why is this?
Ah, well, I have a very simple answer to this question. I used to like Carlos Sainz, but
Hmm.
F1 cars have become cars in such a way that the way you have to drive them is with
Hmm.
minimalistic inputs. Like you have to
Hmm.
be, you can't manhandle this car, and
Hmm.
you have to be very subtle, very delicate, like how Windsor actually describes it. That is
Hmm.
how these generation of cars need to be driven. Like on
Hmm.
the be very gentle onto the throttle, feel the grip on the car.
Hmm.
The moment you become erratic with your inputs, you land
Hmm.
up overheating your tires. You don't land up keeping the car in its
Hmm.
ideal
Hmm.
aero platform. You land
Hmm.
up
Hmm.
making the car a bit unstable just before going into corners, which kind of
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
unsettles the car, which kind of makes you go onto the
Hmm.
throttle a fraction later than somebody like Charles Leclerc, who's
Hmm.
just doing it right. So
Hmm.
that's where all the small differences are. And Baku
Hmm.
is a track where
Hmm.
Leclerc just has some, I don't know what it is, but he's able to carry so much speed into corners and still be earlier on the throttle than people who are
Hmm.
carrying lesser speed into the corners. He
Hmm.
just knows something about some things about this sport that everybody should look at. Actually, that's a very
Hmm.
good shout. I'm gonna go and look at the onboard of
Hmm.
Leclerc. ये मस्त
Hmm.
हम कर सकते हैं गीत भाई, इसका रील बना सकते हैं. इसका
अच्छा
अपना
रहेगा.
जो ऑनबोर्ड
The thing that you were
Leclerc का
mentioning,
ऑनबोर्ड,
right? I think
Leclerc
it
और
was turn
साइंस का
12, 13, right?
Leclerc
Okay.
और साइंस का ऑनबोर्ड साइड बाय साइड करके वी कैन सी द
But
लाइंस.
भाई मैं नहीं कर पाऊंगा, ये मेरे को ब्लॉक कर देगा. फॉर्मूला वन
नहीं
मना
नहीं,
कर देगा.
so basically after 2 days, once the video is released, I think
Okay.
then you can use, because बहुत सारे YouTube channel, what they do is they do this side by sides with using the multi viewer. So you don't
Right.
use it using F1, you do it using the multi viewer itself directly,
अच्छा
and you
अच्छा.
can kind of we can do a reel of how the drivers are doing like different driving lines.
Nice. Okay. A couple of questions I think we should take from last year. Is Ricardo too bad in front of Norris? Yes. I in front of Norris, yes. In front of Piastri, probably Piastri is better than Ricardo. Probably Dan Ricardo was, I, as much as I've read and I've seen videos and data, etc. I believe Dan Ricardo के लिए वो गाड़ी बनी नहीं थी, और ना Daniel Ricardo चला पाया उस गाड़ी को, because his driving style was very different from the car that demanded it. Is there anything else that you want to add, Shub, or am I right or wrong?
I think you are right, but I think the bigger problem was, ऐसा होता है ना कि डैनियल रिकार्डो बहुत फील वाला ड्राइवर है, और उसको
Feel.
उसके साथ ऐसा होने, हाँ, ही इज अ वेरी फील ड्राइवर.
Yes,
हाँ, तो
feel
क्या,
driver.
फील ड्राइवर इज अ ड्राइवर बेसिकली हु doesn't need to look at data. He just knows how he can carry speed into the corner. Like there's a natural instinct of a driver which gives him that edge. And like especially his feeling under braking, how we say how we say Perez is really good on traction. Like he can feel how much
Mm-hmm.
grip there is on the car, and he can
Right.
prevent the tires from spinning, like
Right.
overspinning, which allows him to do his awesome tire management. Daniel Ricciardo was opposite. He was a person who was really good on brakes, and that's why he could pull off
Yeah.
some crazy overtaking moves.
Okay.
And from what I have heard from the discussions that I've had, you'll end up being in a place where he was being mentored by his race engineer how to drive. And the moment
Okay.
you do that, an F1 car
Right.
is instinctively driven. you know.
Right.
Moment you
Got
start
it.
thinking and driving, you become
Hmm.
slower. Simple.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
I think McLaren had a lot to do in how, they were wanted to help him, but in that way
Hmm.
of helping him, they effed him over basically.
Hmm. Hmm. No, I mean, he came to the position is because he lost the confidence, and when he was given the ultimatum, I mean, when you are a driver, probably आप भी अपनी टीम के अंदर कोई काम करते होंगे, तो अगर आपका मैनेजर आपको अल्टीमेटम दे दे, यार देख ये तेरे से काम होता तो ठीक है, नहीं थैंक यू बोल दे यार तू, अगर ऐसा होता तो आप मोराल ही तोड़ देते हो ना अपना, फिर हो जाता है, चल
बिल्कुल.
कोई बात नहीं, कर ले यार तू ऐसे करा, मैं कराऊंगा अपने दुकान में, ठीक है. So probably that went about Daniel Ricciardo's late braking. What I've seen is Daniel Ricciardo does late braking in terms, like you say, crazy overtakes. There he's a late breaker. Daniel Ricciardo is the last of the late breakers. But when it comes to generally running the car, he actually brakes quite earlier. So I saw this on a video by a driver 61. He's a fantastic guy. I love his videos. He was an ex F1 driver himself, and I don't know if you follow his channel or not. If not, go and do follow his channel. Some amazing stuff that he has. I think SQ3 has already started or not? I don't know.
Yes.
Started?
Acha, the sessions are shorter in time.
Yeah. It's shorter in time.
By the way,
Generally,
is
in
the
the
session
last
is the session going to be over exactly when the FI predicted it?
244 maybe, but एक आध दो वो
No.
रेड फ्लैग्स के कारण ओवरशूट होने
तीन
वाला है ये सब.
3 मिनट तो बचे 244 के लिए. अभी 7 मिनट बचे हैं स्प्रिंट के लिए.
स्प्रिंट कितने बजे है?
पता नहीं यार, 7 बजे लगता है.
एक सेकंड, स्प्रिंट कितने बजे है? शेड्यूल स्प्रिंट 7 बजे, सही बोला. शादी में जा रहा है तू? अरे कल से एक
हाँ,
ही
अभी
शर्ट पहन
जाऊंगा.
के बैठा है.
अरे कल का ही शर्ट पहना हुआ हूँ क्योंकि इधर ही पहन के
हाँ,
बैठा हूँ अभी. अभी ये शादी वाला शर्ट नहीं है. अभी मेरे
अच्छा,
को मस्त कुर्ता वगैरह डालना है. अभी शादी
सही
में,
बात,
शादी नहीं,
सही.
बारात में जाऊंगा मैं. शादी कल है.
नाइस,
इन
नाइस.
साउथ इंडियन लोगों की शादी थोड़ी अलग होती है भाई. कॉन्सेप्ट अलग रहता है इनका.
अच्छा, अच्छा. तो इनकी शादी में टॉनिक लेते हैं क्या?
इनकी शादी में
आई मीन बारात है तो बिना बिना टॉनिक के बारात में कैसे नाचेगा भाई?
हाँ, बात तो सही है. मेरा भी पॉइंट यही होता है, लेकिन ये पॉइंट इनको समझ में नहीं आता.
नहीं आता है क्या? अच्छा, अच्छा.
हाँ, आई विश. मेरे को ना भाई, नॉर्थ इंडियन की एक भी शादी अभी तक अटेंड नहीं की मैंने. मेरे सब दोस्तों ने मेरे को हाथ दे दिया है. तो मेरे को एक नॉर्थ इंडियन बंदे की शादी देखनी थी. अगर तू पहले मिल जाता तो तेरी शादी ही मिल जाती.
नहीं कोई ना, अभी मेरी सालियां शादी करेंगे तो आई कॉल यू देन. बिग
पूरा
फैट
पूरा
इंडियन
भाई.
वेडिंग होती है भाई नॉर्थ इंडियंस की. हम्म,
ओह, वर्स्टैपेन का ऑनबोर्ड देख, सही चल रहा है.
हम्म.
ओह, 5 पर्पल सेक्टर्स, 5 पर्पल मिनी सेक्टर्स.
Guys, we'll answer these
सुपर कॉम्पिटेटिव.
questions. दो तीन चार क्वेश्चंस, 5 क्वेश्चन जितने बाकी हैं इस सेशन के बाद करते हैं. हम 5 मिनट का सेशन बचा है, उसके बाद
हाँ, सेशन देख
शुभ को
लेते
थोड़ी देर
थोड़ा.
रोकेंगे, थोड़ा सेशन देखते हैं मजा करते करते. अरे वाह, SQ1 पर्पल.
Oof.
By the way, what do you feel about
Like,
Julian Palmer?
I think he's good. I think he's doing a really good job. Look, उसको people like, I don't know why people criticize him simply, but I think he's doing a great job with the analysis videos that he puts out F1 के साथ. मुझे तो लगता है भाई सैम कॉलिंस से तो अच्छा ही कर रहा है वो, मेरे हिसाब से. Sorry, Sam Collins. I like you, but I like Julian Palmer much more.
Probably Julian was an ex F1 driver. He knows stuff.
Oh
He
yeah,
has
yeah,
been
yeah. He's able to
etc.
break down things really well. मेरे को पसंद आता है,
Right,
मैं सुनता हूँ.
right. I also listen. मुझे अच्छा लगता है. मैं तो वैसे मैं तो पागल हूँ और सब कुछ सुनता हूँ.
पेरेस पे आत्मा आ गई भाई.
S2 purple.
141.8.
Do you think
बीट करेगा ये.
hot lap, out lap, hot lap,
Ooh.
and then in lap होगा? 2 लैप में एक साथ मारेगा अब ड्राइवर?
नहीं.
Because I don't think they have time.
Nah, they don't have tires.
Hmm.
They will have tires. Maybe that's why Ferraris. I don't know. They will definitely run again. But yeah, they don't have time. You're right.
Hmm.
You are right. They
टायर
don't have
चेंज
time.
करने का टाइम नहीं है, क्योंकि आउटलैप इन लैप मार के टायर चेंज करके आउटलैप मार के लैप नहीं मार पाएगा यार, कहाँ मार पाएगा?
41-0. Man, he's on steroids. I am not joking. His second sector is like 6 tenths faster than Verstappen.
हम्म.
141.6.
Nice.
हाफ अ सेकेंड बोला था ना, हाफ अ सेकेंड गैप है इनके बीच में है. हाफ अ सेकेंड इज द डिफरेंस इज Leclerc's brilliance on this track.
That's nice.
क्या यार,
What happened?
अलोंसो का DRS फिर से नहीं चल रहा है यार.
Hmm. Verstappen bowler lost all the rear in the middle sector.
This was the
Is it
same
because of the
problem
wind?
he had
Because
yesterday.
Bernie
No,
also said
it's
something else. Bernie said wind का भी बहुत अच्छा फैक्टर पड़ता है इसके ऊपर करके.
हाँ, लेकिन विंड का फैक्टर तो बिटवीन ड्राइवर्स इट शुडंट बी अ प्रॉब्लम, राइट?
हाँ.
अगर विस्टैपन इसके सेटअप में कुछ अलग है, दिख रहा है, क्योंकि
हम्म.
अगर पेरेज इतना 3 tenths फास्टर है.
हम्म.
Ooh, they are doing a 2 push laps, you're right.
हम्म.
They're going such slow lap times.
अरे एक बात बताओ, वो डेटा कैसे निकालते हैं यार? आई वांट मल्टी व्यूअर का डेटा. तो वो ये तो नॉर्मल डेटा ही आ रहा है, मल्टी व्यूअर का डेटा कैसे आएगा करके?
You need to go into live timing.
है ही नहीं लाइव टाइमिंग का ऑप्शन.
होगा
F1
होगा.
लाइव आ रहा है करके, एंड
नहीं,
देन
लाइव
कितना.
टाइमिंग करके आता है, देख.
चलिए इसके बाद
इंटरनेशनल.
समझता हूँ.
हाँ,
इंटरनेशनल गया अब.
इंटरनेशनल के ऊपर होगा, देख, लाइव टाइमिंग करके.
नहीं आ रहा है. चल छोड़. अच्छा हाँ आ रहा है ना. मैं भी लाल में ना इसलिए देखा नहीं. एनीवेज. कितना समय बचा है? शार्ल लेक्लेर्क ऑन प्रोविजनल पोल.
I'll be surprised if anybody improves.
आई बी ऑल्सो सरप्राइज. टायर की जान तो निकाल दिया, बचा क्या है?
हाँ, क्या येलो सेक्टर्स ही चल रहे हैं.
हम्म. हम्म. सही बोला है तू. कल का क्वालिफाइंग पोल पोजीशन टाइम था 42.2. इसने अभी ये 41.6 इज द बेस्ट फॉर हिम ना.
कल का 42.2 था.
40.2. 40.2.
40.2, हाँ वही है.
कुछ नहीं कर रहा पेरेस. टाइम वेस्ट, पर मिनी सेक्टर पर्पल, बाकी येलो.
He's had a purple.
वैसे ना पेरेस इज हैविंग अ बेटर सेक्टर टू देन वर्स्टैपेन. पेरेस माइट गेट P2.
He's had a fastest middle sector, so he.
राइट राइट.
It's gonna be close. Oh, Shah Leclerc on the barrier. Thokli Shah Leclerc ने.
I remember Monaco
लेकिन
2022.
लेकिन पेरेस को अफेक्ट नहीं करेगा. पेरेस को अफेक्ट नहीं करेगा. Oh no.
नहीं हुआ ना, कुछ नहीं हो पाया.
हाँ, पेरेस को अफेक्ट नहीं हुआ क्योंकि वो सेक्टर 1 में ही था.
और कौन कौन चल रहा है? Who's live? Where's Max
Verstappen
Verstappen?
is 3 tenths behind, but
Point
he
to eight,
will.
right?
Russell P4 has
Nice.
outqualified Hamilton.
Nice.
maybe
Where is
Verstappen can do
Science?
P2.
Is Science hot lap? Science is on hot lap.
साइंस खत्म हो गया लगता है. Verstappen P3. ज्यादा बुरी तरह से नहीं ठोकी उसने. मुझे लगता है फ्रंट विंग डैमेज ही रहेगा उसको.
खाली front wing damage है. हाँ. Science is on hot lap. Is anything happening there?
No, not really.
नहीं है. नहीं है सर. सेक्टर 2 छोड़ दिया ना उसने. 54 सेकंड का
मुझे लगता है वो पीछे था लक्लग के, तो he would have been affected.
Maybe, I don't know.
क्या
I don't see.
He had a
Awesome.
lost the rear end.
Then Charles Leclerc did repeated and Perez was P2 this time. Charles Leclerc का ना मैंने देखा है पिछली बार as in Australia के अंदर I think his start was better than anybody else. So probably Charles Leclerc if had a good start, then sprint race Charles Leclerc can take it. But in the race pace analysis probably it showed मुझे ऐसा लगा कि I think the Formula 1 के ऊपर जो चार्ट था Formula1.com के ऊपर उसके अंदर
Do not believe any race pace analysis. I can tell you, मैंने कोशिश भी नहीं की इसकी वजह से.
Okay.
Because that session itself had a lot of teams testing their parts. That session itself had a red flag. So everybody's program got messed up. So सबने क्या 4-4 5-5 लैप किए बस. Right. So
let's take
मैंने भी बोला भाई कि हम लोग नहीं करने वाले करके. चलो.
What upgrades did Ferrari brought in this weekend that are actually matching? Achha, what is the difference in Ferrari and what have they brought in the upgrade that they're now actually matching Red Bull?
Literally only brought like a small rear wing upgrade. बहुत कुछ ज़्यादा कुछ upgrade नहीं लेके आए. गाड़ी quick है. Maybe it suits the track characteristics because the actual distance you have to think is still half a second because you have to compare science. In a way, you know, there's a little bit of Leclerc brilliance on this track. Lekin they are again, you're like you think about the first 3 races and you see that okay, they were only bad in qualifying in Melbourne. First 2 races they were quite good. They were the second fastest score in quali. They sucked in the race. That was a problem. So over here you're seeing that they're good in quali and I can tell you that maybe Red Bull is struggling from what Verstappen is saying because Verstappen is Red Bull's faster driver. So they're struggling with the rear tire temperatures, maybe with the rear tire cooling, because of which it looks relatively like Ferrari have gained, but they've not really gained as much. I think it's more like Red Bull struggling with their car setup than Ferrari having gained a lot.
I think more notably, things that I can see probably is Ferrari is gaining for sure. The reliability if suits nice and if the whole weekend is unjinxed with the reliability. I would want to mention that Aston Martin is having a worse weekend than the other 3 races that they had earlier. Than Ferrari having a good race.
But again, that is really down to the DRS because they look quite competitive. If you look at the entire lap race, they look quite competitive in the entire lap. Just the race falls down at the end. When I say competitive, I'm not still saying like Ferrari competitive. Like they look like the 3rd fastest team. But you can expect that on a track like this because of the characteristics of Baku. Ferrari good in traction, decent in straight line, while Aston Martin have not been able to show their full potential of the new rear wing update that they brought, which looks really good. Just because the DRS has not been working at all.
Right. Next question. I think this is the next question. I think I missed this one. Patsy. Should have let Piastri through. Norris didn't have the required tires. Okay. I think she's talking about the toe that Norris got over Piastri.
Yeah, should have let him through if they are not tires. Correct.
I want to add into your question that why is Leclerc is only Saturday guy, not a Sunday guy? Not a bad question, probably.
I'll tell you why. Because Saturday is meant for night outs and Sunday is meant to come back home. And he's single. You know what I mean? and Verstappen is not.
Verstappen is not married.
He's not married, but he has a girlfriend.
Charles Leclerc also has a girl. The only single
No,
guy on the entire track is Lewis Hamilton.
no, his girlfriend dumped him. I mean, they broke up. Sorry.
You walk into these parties and I don't, so probably I'll trust you.
No, I know because Charles Leclerc put up a public statement saying, "Do not irritate my girl. We have broken up.
हाँ,
Bye bye." हाँ,
अच्छा, अच्छा,
क्योंकि
nice.
वैसे हेट होती है ना बहुत बाद में सोशल मीडिया पे,
हाँ,
तो he put up a post saying, "Guys, chill" करके.
साउथ इंडिया तमिलनाडु की टॉनिक भी इंडियन ऑयल जैसी होती है. Come on. I don't know. Are you a South Indian? Do you drink ginger oil in place of tonic? Uh, I said it should buy Verstappen won't get pole. Okay. Shiv.
हाँ,
नाम कितना
आपकी
बढ़िया है.
फीलिंग बहुत
Shiv.
अच्छी थी. I like it.
How can I get into F1 esports in India? I think Shub already mentioned that yesterday. He said that I don't know if Shub has any connection in esports or not, but he said that I think everything is online anyways, right? So if you do good simulation and if you do good races, then you will go into rooms, etc. Start winning there, and I'm sure there are championships all around. Nowadays, I think football ke alawa bhi F1 esport is growing a lot, probably. My friends, three of my friends, I think three of my friends have esports set up, etc. I also want to buy one. Waiting for my birthday in June, so probably. Yeah, my prediction was right. Fantastic. पैसे लगाना चाहिए था उसके ऊपर यार. I'm
हाँ,
stupid. I'm stupid. क्या हो गया? Yes. Why are you stupid? And why are you publicly claiming
Leclerc,
yourself
that is
as
a
stupid?
Leclerc line when he crashed.
अच्छा,
I am stupid.
अच्छा,
I am stupid.
अच्छा. I was not hearing any commentary right now. So,
No,
I
no,
thought
no.
यार yes तो बढ़िया आदमी है.
It's
हाँ,
from the
बोल.
previous time when he crashed.
अच्छा, I remember then. What is the point of sprint racing? Does it add any point? Yes. Soumik Sarkar, bhai, जाने मन मेरी. Don't live under a rock. So sprint race adds 8 points to the person who finishes first, and then down to P8, it finishes whoever finishes P1. Sorry, it gives 1 point to the person who finishes P8. So 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 is how these points are distributed. And I believe that it has made Saturday more exciting. I think that's the reason why we're all watching today. All 17, 18 people of us. So, which driver do you like? So, I think I'll say this again. Alonso is Shub's favorite driver, and Vettel was mine. But in this time, whoever is on the grid, I think I like Alonso as well, and I like Charles Leclerc as well, if I can publicly admit that. Saikiran, what's up? बहुत दिन बाद यार, बहुत दिन बाद आया. कैसा है सौमित? बहुत दिन बाद, तू भी बहुत दिन बाद आया. जल्दी आएगा यार, चैनल पे आएगा वैसे कैसे? कौन संभालेगा चैनल को? तुम नहीं आप बताओ. Any chances Indian team going to F1? I think there was when Alpha Tauri was in sale, Mumbai Falcons owners were tagged a lot and they were told to buy, but it takes like 800 million. तो उसने reject कर दिया Alpha Tauri ने, so probably 900 million is what required. आपके पास पैसा है तो please go ahead and buy the team. We'll definitely support you. If you want an aerodynamics for your team, we have the amazing Shub.
I am not coming and working as an aerodynamicist for you. मैं भाई सबको ज्ञान दूंगा. टीम
ऐसा
चलाएगा
नहीं
अपना
भी
गीत
आना
भाई.
जा रहा है वैसे भी.
हाँ, गीत भाई बोलेगा तो मैं करेगा.
So I don't have to get a DRS fix. It's going to be a hot weekend. Yes. What's your thought on Jihan Dar? What a fantastic driver. I not only Jihan Dar, but I think Arjun Mani is doing great as well. Race started. भाई replay देखना पड़ेगा अब तेरे को. 7 बजे चालू होगी sprint वो देखना. If not, when it will start. 7 बजे sprint race चालू होगी. Fantastic guys. I think Shub needs to get ready. उसको facial कराने जाना है आज शाम की पार्टी के लिए. शादी
अरे
के लिए.
भाई का थोपड़ा देखा है. भाई को फेशियल नहीं मांगता. भाई चला जाता है रूम में. भाई लड़कियां बदतमीज दिल चालू हो जाता है.
क्या बात है. लक्स के साबुन से मुंह धो के चला जाता है भाई.
हाँ, लक्स के साबुन से.
सौंदर्य साबुन निर्मा. Fantastic यार. दृष्टि तेरी आज की भी absent है सारे. कल sorry. So your absent is today as well. I want to see all of you guys in the sprint weekend, sprint race that we're gonna do. Are you coming live tonight? Let's hope. Shub probably will be busy at 7. If he's free, then we'll definitely ask him. But I don't know my right now because somebody from my house, my auntie is in hospital, so I have to go and meet her. I hope she's fine. But anyways, coming back, thank you guys for joining in today. It was a fun session. Yes, Agam, it was a fun session. Geet by Leclerc और Verstappen. किस चीज के लिए? बहुत सारी चीजें हैं. किस चीज के लिए? अगर मुझे गाड़ी मैं टीम खरीदूंगा तो कौन होगा या फिर इस रेस में कौन जीतेगा? मल्टीपल. प्लीज क्लैरिफाई द क्वेश्चन. अरे यार मेरा एग्जाम था. कोई बात नहीं. अच्छी बात. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for joining in today. Thank you, Shub, for coming again. अगर शाम को फ्री है तो भाई करते हैं वापस बकचोदी. अगर है ना, चल
नहीं है तो रेस करेंगे वापस से.
रेस तो करेंगे. Perfect, guys. Thank you so much for joining in. Bye bye. Take care. Bye, Shub.
Bye bye.